The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of Russian propaganda. So get ready, nerds, because we're going to drink some vodka and talk about Black Widow.
I believe it's pronounced vodka.
Vodka. Victor. Welcome, everybody, to the Salty Nerd Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about spoilers for Black Widow, the new Disney Plus Marvel movie that just came out, starring Scarlett Johansson. And I'm joined, as always, by my fantastic panel of nerds, starting with Matt Vader, the barbarian space Viking. What's up, bro? Your beard is long enough to braid, dude.
Right? There,
I'm
there.
so proud of you right now.
I feel very.
You have no idea.
I need an axe.
No, what you need are those like cannon wicks that you light, and, like
like a pirate.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wear this home, and my wife's gonna hate me.
Seriously, we need to get you some beads to put in there. Some jewelry. We got to
some chicken bones.
Yeah, chicken bones.
Oh yeah, bones.
Yeah, got a couple of severed penises necklace around your neck.
No, that's not for me.
I have one.
Speaking of,
sitting across the table from you. It's my penis over there.
That one is mine. I'm very proud.
It's my severed penis.
Oh, you've gained some weight, but still good.
That is not an average size. I'm just saying. I would feel bad for a person.
Guys, I'm sorry because we're still in Norseman mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a little giddy.
We just interviewed one of the actors from the Norseman show. We're
going to make some Norseman references that none of you are going to get.
None of you. Yeah, for sure.
Jude is also here.
Hi.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Ready to talk about this movie?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. And Matthew Kadish, producer of the show. Welcome.
So I've been seeing a lot of hate for this movie online.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, picking it apart, calling it woke, stuff like that. But I really enjoyed this movie.
And we're going to get into some deep spoilers for this movie right after a word from this unbridled amount of capitalism.
So many people have told me about Orchard, and no wonder. It's the new way to sell. For example, Orchard makes you a cash offer for your home. And when your home sells for more, you keep the difference. No longer do you have to choose between an easy home sale or the best price for your home. Let me tell you about Rudy, a recent Orchard customer. Rudy's home sold on the market for $30,000 above his cash offer. Had he gone to a home buying company, he would have missed out on that extra money. But with Orchard, he got more cash at closing. Rudy's story isn't unique. 99 out of 100 Orchard customers sell on market for more than their cash offer. Getting started is easy. You go online and enter your address at orchard.com. It takes just a couple of minutes and lets you skip home listing hassles. If you're thinking about selling or just curious what Orchard would pay for your home, get a no-cost, no-obligation offer at orchard.com. That's orchard.com. So many people have told me about Orchard, and no wonder. It's the new way to sell. For example, Orchard makes you a cash offer for your home. And when your home sells for more, you keep the difference. No longer do you have to choose between an easy home sale or the best price for your home. Let me tell you about Rudy, a recent Orchard customer. Rudy's home sold on the market for $30,000 above his cash offer. Had he gone to a home buying company, he would have missed out on that extra money. But with Orchard, he got more cash at closing. Rudy's story isn't unique. 99 out of 100 Orchard customers sell on market for more than their cash offer. Getting started is easy. You go online and enter your address at orchard.com. It takes just a couple of minutes and lets you skip home listing hassles. If you're thinking about selling or just curious what Orchard would pay for your home, get a no-cost, no-obligation offer at orchard.com. That's orchard.com. So many people have told me about Orchard, and no wonder. It's the new way to sell. For example, Orchard makes you a cash offer for your home. And when your home sells for more, you keep the difference. No longer do you have to choose between an easy home sale or the best price for your home. Let me tell you about Rudy, a recent Orchard customer. Rudy's home sold on the market for $30,000 above his cash offer. Had he gone to a home buying company, he would have missed out on that extra money. But with Orchard, he got more cash at closing. Rudy's story isn't unique. 99 out of 100 Orchard customers sell on market for more than their cash offer. Getting started is easy. You go online and enter your address at orchard.com. It takes just a couple of minutes and lets you skip home listing hassles. If you're thinking about selling or just curious what Orchard would pay for your home, get a no-cost, no-obligation offer at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you love the podcast, if you're new, subscribe, like. If you're not new and you watch all of our stuff, go to saltynerdclub.com and become a Patreon and get even more cool stuff. saltynerdclub.com. There you can pick a tier. You get access to exclusive podcasts, behind-the-scenes photos, some early access stuff. We can get it out to you soon enough. We try to do our best on that and all kinds of really fun stuff. Plus, access to our Discord server for the Patreon-only chat room where you guys get direct contact with the host. You can tag us and chat us up and let us know what you want us to review. All right, guys, let's get into Black Widow. Jude, do you have the synopsis?
I do.
Go ahead, take it away.
2021 Black Widow, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 2 hours, 13 minutes, had a budget of $80 million. What do you think this brought into the box so far? So I got my figures last night. So as of yesterday.
Is that opening weekend then considered? Yeah. Okay.
Opening week, I think.
Including streaming Disney Plus premium access?
It just said worldwide.
I'm going to say 300 million.
Okay.
What about you, V?
Is this in pre-COVID numbers or post-COVID numbers? Because, you know, the economies are completely different.
Post.
Yeah, post.
We're 100% open.
Or, you know, in 1972 when this movie was supposed to come out.
This is in
27
theaters,
years ago.
This is in theaters and streaming.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you think? How much?
I'm hearing numbers like 200 million.
Okay.
Okay. So this came out Friday and today's Tuesday.
Okay.
So,
it's had a nice long week.
So, is this
so
opening weekend
far,
numbers?
it has made $158 million. So it's already doubled its
Domestically.
budget worldwide.
Worldwide, that's it?
Yeah. It just,
Where did I see 300?
one weekend.
Oh, okay. Cages, do you have anything to add to that number? I know you always do double research.
So $60 million is the number that's being reported for Disney Premier Plus access, which means the people who ordered the $30 version through Disney Plus brought in $60 million. And then the rest is box office takes. So theater.
A little over 200 then worldwide.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you want to tack 60 million onto that number or if the 60 million is also included in that number. But regardless, this movie made a lot of money.
I got my figure from IMDb worldwide.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the synopsis.
Go ahead.
Natasha and Yelena were raised as a family with the Red Guardian and Mama Melina until one day Daddy comes home and reveals their time in America has come to an end, and it's time they flee toward adventure. Narrowly escaping the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, they arrive in Cuba where the girls are separated, Red Guardian imprisoned, and Melina goes off to do mind control science stuff with pigs. Yelena discovers a serum that reverses the brain control she's been under and enlists Natasha and their makeshift covert family to help her take down the Red Room, who was responsible for stealing her childhood, her will, and her mind.
Okay. I'm going to get my take out in the open right quick before I forget about it. My wife had seen some Instagrammer that she followed talk about this movie, and I watched the video with her, and they were like, this movie is so dark. I can't believe they went this dark with a Marvel movie. And I was like,
really?
Oh, come on. Really? Like, I didn't believe it, right? I was like, this
Did
Marvel
they see
movie.
Endgame?
Here's the thing, though. And then the first, 10 minutes plus the opening credits, there's like legit horrific child trafficking going on with like kids in crates being, guns pointed at them and stuff. And I was like, oh, holy shit. They really did go pretty freaking dark with this. The first opening act, the first 15 minutes or so.
You're talking about how they steal babies and stuff like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know who else does that? Jedi Knights.
Oh. I saw that going a completely different direction.
But the Jedi don't do it to covers of Nirvana. So
God, that was an awesome cover.
It was a pretty good cover.
It really
Yeah,
was.
It was a really.
I sat in the theater and I'm hearing the background music. I'm going, that sounds
Nirvana.
familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to get this soundtrack now. I really did like that.
I did too.
The soundtrack was good.
I usually don't like covers of Nirvana because like
either.
you can't do Kurt
Cobain.
Cobain. I almost say Chris Cornell for some reason. You can't do Kurt Cobain as a cover. It just never works. This one worked.
Yeah.
It was surprisingly good.
Well, Smells Like Teen Spirit is just an amazing song.
Yeah.
No matter how you do it.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like really, I was really digging the opening scene, the flashback scene with the young daughters and the young Red Guardian.
How crazy was it that they cast Billie Eilish in that role?
Who? What?
I'm joking.
Oh, I'm like, stop Billie Eilish. No, I think
Dead ringer.
This is a great example of when Kadish thinks something is funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
Thank you, because
give me some high five. Okay.
The girl who plays young Natasha
right? Yeah.
looks just like Billie Eilish.
She is the daughter of somebody famous, though.
Is she?
I believe. I saw it
I'll
on
look it up right
Instagram the other day or something like that. She's the daughter of somebody famous.
Once I figured out who these kids were supposed to be, I thought they actually were cast pretty well.
Yeah, I thought so too. I didn't, like I said, this opening 15 minutes is really good.
Yeah.
I really was into it. And I was like, wow, this is surprisingly dark for a Marvel movie with like the whole opening credit scene that really got to me. I don't know, because I'm going soft because I got kids now, but
She looks like young Mila Jovovich. Is she?
I think she is,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. Maybe a
Daughter of Mila Jovovich.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, the I can't praise the opening scene enough. I mean, I've said it like 4 times now, so I'm going to stop saying it. But it was really freaking good.
Wait a
Let's-
second.
wait,
Wait.
let's-
Whoa.
what?
The chick who played young Natasha
Yeah.
Is
is the daughter of the chick
from Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
She looks just like her.
Yeah, she does.
Let's go around the table and just get a temperature taken.
Sure. Vader, what did you think about this movie?
I enjoyed this movie. Everybody's probably shocked.
I am a
But-
little bit.
But no, I had a good time. I didn't have any expectations for this. The only thing that makes me upset about this movie is that it wasn't put out when it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it takes you out of it a little bit.
I
It's
will,
like this was supposed to be released.
This was like 2 years ago now.
Well, yeah, but it takes place after
Civil War.
Civil War.
Yeah.
And I know in the future we're going to be going through all the MCU movies. I'm looking forward to watching this movie again in chronological order, the way it's supposed to be watched,
I agree.
because it'll make it a little bit better.
I do think that it being post Endgame and kind of like disattached from the whole MCU for so long,
I mean,
it did affect how
it
I
was going
felt.
to be released out of order anyway, I think. But
COVID really tacked on a couple extra.
Yeah.
But I mean, this was going to be released after Endgame originally, right?
Mhm.
Which doesn't make any sense to me
Totally agree.
at all.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said, and going in the future, this will always be watched after Civil War.
Yeah.
And it has to be. And overall, though, I enjoyed this. I went to the movie theater by myself. Am I the only one that actually went to the theater and watched this? Did you guys watch it?
My schedule was booked. I couldn't.
You guys are all
I couldn't make it.
losers.
I know.
Support your theater. My God. But no, I sat in the theater on Monday at 11:30 a.m. with 4 other people,
Nice.
and we thoroughly enjoyed this thing. It was great.
Right on.
It was like a private screening.
Jude,
Good times.
what's your opening take on this?
I agree with Vader. So I totally thought that I was going to hate this movie. And I think I was comparing it to like Wonder Woman 84, when it was going to push a lot of message. And I was leading up, I was like, why are they even making this movie? She's dead.
Yeah.
And now, having seen it, my main complaint is that this didn't come out sooner. This is a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I watched it almost twice. I fell asleep the second time. It was very late. But I thought it was a really good movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed the entire thing. And my takeaway from it is, why did they make this when they made it? This is a completely useless movie to me now.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great movie that I don't need and don't care about because she's dead. It's too late. This should have come out, like Vader said, after Civil War.
Yep. I kind of agree.
Maybe they'll bring her back in some weird time travel.
Well, I think that this is like setting up her sister, who I loved, and I think she's got great comedic timing.
Yeah.
She's
her whole
action scenes were great. Her whole thing with why do you pose?
Yeah. Oh my
she's
God.
hilarious.
I laughed several
like
times.
Her,
Yeah.
and I look forward to more of her. But I feel like this was just something that they gave to Scarlett Johansson to shut her up, which they should have done fucking 4 years ago.
I agree.
She got paid for this, all right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but that's not the point.
No. What I mean is like, I think part of this might have been, it's like we need to give Scarlett her movie.
Yeah.
And
but I'm with Jude though. It should have been way
it should have been way
earlier
earlier.
because she's a fan favorite for a long time now.
Oh,
for
since
sure.
the beginning.
Yeah, since Iron Man 2.
I liked her since she first appeared in Iron Man.
Yeah. Kadish, you kind of already said that you like in general you liked it, but do you want to go a little bit deeper? What did you think about this movie?
Yeah, like I wasn't expecting much. I've never been a big Black Widow fan, even back in the comics, but I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie. It's a very solid Marvel movie. It's not a Captain Marvel where they're just like hitting you over the head with anti-men messaging and
regardless of
nostalgia.
what some people will say.
Well,
I never took it
the setup of the movie of having a whole like legion of Black Widows, all female assassins. It's just naturally inclined to be.
Listen,
but that's also from the comics.
Yeah.
You know, so.
To me, that's a very Soviet thing to do.
If you were ever going to have,
it's like, why not do it that way?
Yeah, if you were ever going to have like some kind of female empowerment message, this would be the movie to do it with.
I want a bunch of extremely hot female assassins.
Oh, yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why this didn't come out when it should have, after Civil War, is that, back then, so Kevin Feige, there was a kind of power struggle amongst Marvel Studios where Ike Perlmutter, who was the owner of Marvel Comics, he was very kind of rigid in his stance where he was like, I don't believe women can carry movies. I don't believe minorities can carry movies. So like, we're going to stick to very tried and true type stuff, even though Kevin Feige wanted to do stuff like Black Panther and Black Widow and, Captain Marvel and things of those natures. And so he eventually went around Perlmutter directly to Bob Iger and was like, hey, Perlmutter's holding me back. Let me be in charge of the movie end of things, and he can stay in charge of the publishing end of things, and let me do what I want. So, that's what happened. And so once Feige got control, he was able to do stuff like Black Panther. But there was this concept in Hollywood that women can't carry big budget summer action movies.
Yeah, because women aren't funny traditionally.
Well, it's not about being funny. It's just about getting people into the seats. And so like lately we've seen this push of like, female centric lead action movies. And so to us now, it's not like such a foreign concept.
But here's the thing though, man. I've been watching female led action movies since
the 70s.
Since forever. This isn't a thing. People that are making this like a thing, are they all 15 and started watching movies when the MCU started?
No, I agree with you. The thing is that they didn't have a proof of concept until Captain Marvel came out. And by then, like the whole Infinity War Endgame thing was in full swing. Right. And so they didn't really have time to do this movie until now. And this was supposed to kick off Marvel's Phase 4. But because of COVID, they had to push it back. And so WandaVision ended up being the thing to kick off Phase 4.
Did Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel come out? Who came out first?
Wonder Woman did.
Okay, yeah. I thought that was an excellent movie.
The first one was.
It was, but that's another example where like the reason it did do well, but the reason it took so long to do a Wonder Woman standalone movie was because there was this belief that women couldn't carry a big budget, comic book movie. And when Wonder Woman came out and then Captain Marvel came out, like that kind of got, erased. But the reason that we never got a Wonder Woman movie between the Linda Carter TV show and the Gal Gadot movie was because of this concept. And even like, if you guys remember when we did our Tomb Raider review, there was a big thing where like that was the first female-led action movie to make, a big splash on the screen. And but even at that point, they were like, oh, well, only Angelina Jolie could do that. That was like the Hollywood thinking.
It's so weird.
Growing up, I was obsessed with the Linda Carter Wonder Woman. And to me, she's still my Wonder Woman.
For me, growing up, like watching Sigourney Weaver and Alien and Aliens, that's like, you can't get a better female action movie than that.
I feel like this whole thing out there where
nerds don't like female leads. It's so stupid.
It's garbage. It's nonsense. And and like the thing with this movie, people are out there complaining because it's just another example of the man holding the women down because these Black Widows are being controlled by a evil dude and all this kind of stuff. It's like, well, would it be better if it was an evil lady running them?
It kind of was though. Her mom was kind of in on it.
It's just like,
you know what I mean?
I don't know. It's just, it was a cool story.
What's interesting about this movie? So the story for this film was created by Jack Schaefer, who's the woman who was the showrunner in WandaVision. And the guy who wrote the script, his name's Eric Peterson. He also wrote Godzilla vs. Kong. and Thor Ragnarok.
I love both those movies.
Yeah, and he was the executive story editor on the Agent Carter TV show. So he's, like pretty much every big thing he's done has been with Marvel except for Godzilla versus Kong. But the interesting thing is like early on in the movie when Natasha's kind of hiding out from was it Commander Ross or General Ross, whoever
Secretary Ross.
Let's just say
General.
Ross.
How about General?
Secretary.
It is Secretary, Defense Secretary Ross. So she's in this like trailer and she's watching a James Bond film on her laptop, which is Moonraker. And if you look at the structure for this in terms of like where she has to go and who she has to fight at the end of the movie, it kind of parallels Moonraker.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool. I like that.
That's a cool little nod.
And so this is basically like the Eric Pearson basically said, like, this is a Bond movie. And that's why it's so ridiculous and over the top.
Okay.
I like it. I love Bond movies.
Okay, so I'm going to dump a little bit of salt on the movie because there are some flaws that I wasn't really a big fan of.
Okay.
And they're minor stuff. It's nothing huge or major, but I felt like
I'm actually really curious what you have to say here.
there's a couple like at this point in time, Marvel movies, as far as like production value, need to be top tier. They've set the bar really high, and I felt like there was several moments where they played real fast and loose with like you're stretching your disbelief for physics and stuff. Like the one scene that really took me out of it was when Natasha, like her generator died at the beginning of the movie. She takes her car and she goes and she's going over the bridge. And like out of nowhere, this giant freaking explosion and her car goes flying like 50 freaking feet away and it rolls and tumbles and she gets out with like nothing but a scratch. And I'm like,
She's related to the Fast Five guys.
I'm like, I get that you're like, you're kind of a super soldier. Yeah, she's Dom's
Turns
sister.
out she's a Toretto.
She's a Toretto.
That's her actual mother. God, that'd be amazing.
Dom's father got around.
That's right.
Dom's
Right.
father.
Shit.
He got with the Russian chick.
And as long as she poses when she lands, it's okay.
It was just some of the moments kind of took me out of it where I was like, it stretched just a little bit far because she's not quite up to, I think, Steve
She doesn't have
Rogers.
superpowers.
Yeah. Well, I think she's like somewhat superpowered.
Here's what
with
I have
serum.
to say about anytime somebody says something like that. When these movies, it's a comic book
I get
movie.
it. I'm saying it was nitpicky. I understand that. And I also, I want to get Kadish's thoughts on this. I felt like there were several moments as far as the editing goes that were kind of choppy and out of place. There's a few scenes during the prison break where I was like, it felt kind of jarring. Like I was like, how did he get from point A to point B? And it just, the action scenes seemed a little bit choppy for me. And again, I'm putting it to the same standard as some of my favorite MCU movies like Winter Soldier or Civil War, something like it just didn't feel quite as fluid as those ones.
That's the kind of stuff that actually annoys me about watching movies now that I've been starting doing this show.
Yeah.
Kadish, educates us a little bit and you look for little weird things. It's like, hey, that doesn't make sense. How did he get from that point to that point?
Yeah.
Kadish will not be happy with how that would turn
Sloppy editing.
Sloppy. Poor writing.
I do love the David Harbour fanboying over Captain America. Like, has he said anything about me?
That was pretty funny.
This is a completely different topic. I love the accents in this.
Yes.
American actors doing Russian accents are always funny to me. All right.
Yeah.
And even like when what's the sister's name?
Yelena.
When she's like making fun of Natasha for doing her pose,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, would that have been as funny if she was doing it
in an
regular
American accent?
And she's a British person.
Is she?
Yeah, she's not Russian.
Oh,
I think
she's just a great Russian.
I think people with British accents can do better Russian accents.
They're closer.
Yeah.
Well, they're already speaking out of the front of their mouth, and that's how you do a Russian accent.
It's like
voice actor over
I
there.
try to do Russian accent and I just sound like a bad guy.
Americans open their
Pakistan.
mouth.
You just
From Pakistan. He's like,
just watch too many Bond
you
movies.
sound as good as David Harbour.
yeah.
David
Did he say
Harbour
anything
and
about
also
me?
Rachel Weisz's accents, they were not good.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Rachel, like when we were watching it the second time and Rachel Weisz started doing her accent, I turned to Jude. I was like, is it just me or is her accent really bad?
It's really bad. There was another really bad Russian accent. Was the main bad guy, main bad general from Russia? It was the really famous British actor,
Ray Winstone.
Yeah, he's in a ton of movies, and he always plays this real heavy British accent. He didn't even freaking try.
I feel like British people doing evil Russians are like British people being the bad dudes in Star Wars, so except with accents.
Oh, okay.
And
So
also in
makes me
James
laugh.
Bond.
It makes me laugh. Yeah, James Bond as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was interesting. So like this movie spans many different time periods, and it can get kind of confusing because the movie starts off in 1995, and then it goes to 2016,
Yes.
and then at the very end, it catches up to the future because Endgame happened 5 years in the future.
The beginning is in 1975.
1995.
1995.
Yeah.
I thought it was earlier than that, but
I thought it was in the 80s, but
I guess whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't
Kadish
matter.
thought the same thing.
Here's another moment of salt for people who didn't like this movie. You cannot take a 6-seater Cessna single prop plane from Ohio to Cuba in one shot.
Yeah, you can.
No, you cannot.
No, they just did it.
I know this is a stupid thing to get bothered by, but I was watching it and I was like, I'm like, did they stop in Florida on the
Listen, man,
way?
It's a special
Russian
Soviet
spy
asset
Okay.
Cessna
Okay.
with the extra gas tank because
Okay.
they didn't take any other luggage. And stuff.
Okay.
They
They
just made a gas
landed
tank.
it. They landed at one point, and then the Red Guardian was just kind of carrying it
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
his back, and
Okay.
he was like Flintstoning it.
Did he spend the entire trip on the wing?
That's a
No.
good question.
No, I think that there's some implied like
Oh.
they landed, he got in, then
My,
they took off.
my
again.
dad used to fly a Cessna. You don't want to open the window on one of those things.
No.
Flying through the air. It's not a good thing.
Yeah,
Anyway.
there are actual bullet holes in it, and
Yeah.
they're still flying.
Yeah, we're good, man. Let's just keep going. I just thought it was kind of silly. There's a couple of moments
Sure.
in this movie. And then if you guys want to skip to the end with that, like the pheromone thing with the nerve in the nose.
Oh yeah,
And she's
whatever.
like, oh, you weren't strong enough, so I have to do it myself. And she bashes her face on the desk. I'm like, could you not have done a little bit better with the writing on that?
Yeah.
Kadish the whole time was like, "Why didn't she just put tissues in her nose?"
Oh, no, that won't quite do it.
well, they did kind of address her not having actual superpowers in this thing because it's always been one of those things that's kind of bothered me about
Natasha.
Natasha is like
Yeah.
she's just a super spy with good acrobatics, right?
Mhm.
And she's out there hanging with Captain America and Thor and everybody. So it's like I always have wondered about.
with 9mm pistols.
Yeah, I've always wondered about how she hangs with the rest of the Avengers and also Hawkeye. I
Yeah.
want Hawkeye's backstory in the MCU. I want a movie like this about him.
You know what?
I want to know how he doesn't miss. Does he have how did he get his superpower?
I don't know.
Because
I always thought,
it's just
and somebody who's like really versed in the actual comic books where this all
Yeah.
came from could probably check me on this, but
Uh-huh.
I always made the assumption that Natasha had some form of super soldier serum injected into her.
but
No.
she doesn't. She doesn't.
Yeah,
she's just
It's just brainwashing.
Well,
highly
she's just highly trained.
Yeah.
Like if you go back to Agent Carter, they kind of set up the Black Widow program in that series where like they talked about how the Soviets were pioneering this thing where like because they couldn't create their own super soldier, they wanted to like make highly trained soldiers.
Was it a form of the same training that they did with Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah, probably.
Except he's plugged
He's
in with
actually-
the super serum.
Well,
Yeah.
well, but he was with Hydra. Like the Soviet Union basically had like their army of Black Widow, like females, and it morphed over the decades to the point where it got to the Cold War.
Well, I thought they addressed that in the movie where they said it was a hybrid kind of thing where it was
Well,
Hydra mixed with
no. So like the place at the beginning where David Harbour, the Red Guardian, he steals the formula from, it was a SHIELD research facility, but the SHIELD people there were actually Hydra,
Oh.
which they later found
Oh.
out was the case because you had the whole Hydra reveal with the Agents of SHIELD stuff.
Mhm.
So that's what they were talking about. It wasn't actually a hybrid thing. So the Winter Soldier was strictly Hydra. But what was interesting about this, I guess interesting is the wrong word. I should say what was odd about this movie is that you have the Red Guardian, who is basically the Soviet Union's Captain America, like their super
Captain
soldier.
Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like they never said how he got his powers or anything like that. But I can't see the Soviet Union taking like their primary super soldier, which is like their symbol for like their superiority,
And just sending him to Ohio.
or putting him in prison.
Mhm.
You would think that he'd be out
Yeah,
there.
he's just in Gen Pop this whole time.
Arm wrestling
the
dudes.
arm wrestling
Yeah.
thing was hilarious.
It was really funny.
Giant gargantuan
Dude.
guy comes up and he's like, fighting Captain America and stuff, clunk. And then he comes along and does this stuff, clunk. And then they just keep sitting down in front of it.
Well, what was also funny is after watching Winter Soldier and Falcon, there was that whole thing about how there were other Captain Americas throughout history.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how him and Captain America tussled in the 80s. And they were like, Captain America was still frozen in the 80s.
Yeah,
So was he just full of shit, or was he talking about the character from Falcon and Winter Soldier, the Black Captain America?
maybe.
I don't think it was the Black Captain America, but I think that we've had other versions of Captain America that were secretly used throughout history. And they kind of alluded to that. Like they left it ambiguous here where it could have been just him bragging, but he really seemed to believe it because he was asking like, did Captain America mention me?
Yeah.
So like he thinks that he actually tussled with Captain America.
That's
I mean,
interesting.
There was Captain America did a lot of stuff that we didn't get to see in the movies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's decades worth of comic books out there. So yeah, for sure.
but-
Isaiah. That was his
Isaiah. Okay. Yeah. From Falcon and Winter Soldier. There was talking about the arm wrestling scene. There was one, but I really laughed out loud when this part happened, but he was the big giant dude sat down, arm wrestled him. And he he insulted Red Guardian and he like broke his wrist. And then the big dude starts kind of like whimpering. He's like, "Oh, what are you going to do? You're going to cry like a little baby."
And he's like,
No.
that guy thought he would beat me.
Yeah. that comedic timing and just the way David Harbour played that was freaking hilarious.
I
just had to mention
actually
that.
really enjoyed his character.
Yeah.
I did for the most part too.
Bad accent and all. I just
Yeah.
kind of made it all part of
There's
it.
actually like a big push to get him either his own TV show or movie as the Red Guardian.
I'd be okay with that.
I think that'd be good.
I still
Soviet
need him in
propaganda.
Stranger Things, though.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, season 4 is already done. I think they're filmed that one already.
I can just already hear people crying about a Red Guardian show
Why?
because it would be painted as
It's Russian propaganda.
Hollywood
Well, I mean,
propagandizing socialism.
Didn't David Harbour
something.
just comment about how like nobody can argue with socialism?
Well,
or
yeah,
something?
he
David
did.
Harbour is a communist.
Yeah, it's like-
so he's appropriately
I
cast.
think he dived a little bit too deep into his character
Yeah,
on
a
that
little
one.
bit.
Like, have fun writing that check from Disney there, stud.
Yeah,
Well,
like Red Guardian in the 80s.
He would have to lose some weight, but yeah, I could see
That'd
it.
be great.
Yeah, I could see it.
I mean, Disney doesn't have any problems giving money to communists. So
Yeah, it is what it is. It's a funny little meta joke,
Yeah.
I think, but
yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't have a problem with that character. I think he was really funny. It would have to be. I mean, again, it always has to be well
See what
written,
the
and like there has to be a
context is.
reason for there to be a movie or TV show.
So getting back to one of your questions about the action and the editing,
Mhm.
I was actually pretty impressed because this movie is directed by a woman named Kate Shortland. And, Kevin Feige specifically wanted a woman to direct this movie.
Okay.
And Kate Shortland didn't have like any real experience. Like she'd made like two, 3 other movies. They were all not big budget action films. And so like to give her like $100 million plus like big budget action movie to direct was like a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually pretty impressed with what I saw in terms of like the action scenes and stuff like that. I didn't notice anything wrong with the editing. I didn't feel like anything was very choppy. The action scenes, you could actually tell what was happening. Like I hate it when they do like shaky cam stuff and things of that nature. So like the scenes were all very well shot, I thought. So I think Kate Shortland did a really good job directing this movie. And I just feel like, the movie wasn't badly written. Oddly enough, it gave us a lot of great insight into Black Widow's character, and there were only like a couple times where I felt like the movie dragged a little bit, but overall, like I felt like it was a fun film.
I love the relationship between the two sisters.
Mm-hmm. Okay, before we continue the conversation, let's hear a word from some sponsors.
If you have a family relying on your income, you need life insurance. But finding the best quote shouldn't take a lifetime. That's where Policy Genius comes in. In minutes, Policy Genius could save you 50% or more simply by comparing quotes from America's top insurers. Once you apply, the Policy Genius team handles all the paperwork and red tape. To save on life insurance and get protection for you and your family, head to policygenius.com today.
Do you know the difference between renter's insurance and renter's flood insurance? You need a separate renter's flood insurance policy, sometimes called contents coverage. That's because standard renter's insurance doesn't protect your property from flood damage, and neither does your landlord's flood insurance policy. As little as $100 a year can save you thousands in out-of-pocket expenses. Speak to your insurance agent about contents coverage. Protect the life you've built at floodsmart.gov/renters.
So many people have told me about Orchard, And no wonder, it's the new way to sell. For example, Orchard makes you a cash offer for your home. And when your home sells for more, you keep the difference. No longer do you have to choose between an easy home sale or the best price for your home. Let me tell you about Rudy, a recent Orchard customer. Rudy's home sold on the market for $30,000 above his cash offer. Had he gone to a home buying company, he would have missed out on that extra money. But with Orchard, he got more cash at closing. Rudy's story isn't unique. 99 out of 100 Orchard customers sell on market for more than their cash offer. Getting started is easy. You go online and enter your address at orchard.com. It takes just a couple of minutes and lets you skip home listing hassles. If you're thinking about selling or just curious what Orchard would pay for your home, get a no-cost, no-obligation offer at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
I was going to say the only time I felt like the movie dragged was when they were kind of diving into the dynamic of like the fake family and who betrayed who. And I don't know if dragged is the right word because I felt like that was kind of necessary. That's kind of the whole point of the movie. Yeah. So I can't really take points away from it for that. But it got a
little bit slow.
It did slow down quite a bit during that middle section where they were like all four together and like working out their problems.
And Melina's like torturing her pigs.
It was really weird.
No,
it's fine. He's got 11 seconds before he dies. Like, what, lady?
Well, I felt like Florence Pugh really stole the show as Yelena.
She's great.
Yeah. So her whole thing about like the vests with all the pockets and like you're a poser. You do this pose.
Yeah.
Her timing is really great too when she's interacting with other people. Like the way that she comes in with her lines, it's just very realistic how you would just talk to someone.
The whole conversation about how many pockets her vest has, I've literally had that conversation with my wife about her clothes.
Yeah.
Like my clothes don't have
clothes don't have pockets.
No, that's a very sister.
Yeah.
Chat.
100%. I've heard my wife talk to her sister about that stuff.
Yeah, my girls as well.
Yeah, sure. It was. I thought it was fine. I know people probably roll their eyes at it, but I thought it was funny. And also, that's the vest that Natasha was wearing in either Infinity War or Endgame when we first get reintroduced to her.
That's a nice little nugget.
To me, that just kind of
that's the MCU.
It just cements the relationship that they can have that kind of a conversation while they're being chased by bad guys. It was good.
It was quite heartbreaking when Natasha was like, "It was all fake," and you could see it like hurt.
Not to her. It wasn't to me.
Yeah, she's like, "It wasn't fake to me, you asshole." She grabbed a bottle of vodka and walked away.
Yeah, she was too young.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the biggest controversy in this movie, which is Taskmaster.
It's okay.
Why is that a controversy?
Because Marvel's done it like 7 times now.
Yeah.
The big masked bad dude is actually a chick. Whoa. Well, it's like, it's paint by numbers MCU stuff. And I think people are kind of getting tired of it.
Is Taskmaster not a girl in the comics?
No, it's a dude.
Oh, okay. So that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know enough about Taskmaster to be able to speak on it. I really don't. So I'm not going to. All I know is that this character's different.
Yeah.
They gender swapped it and they probably changed the origin story of
They fed it into the story as being the big bad's daughter who Natasha thought she killed. So like there's like a backstory that they built within the movie. But again, I completely understand people's frustration with it because they gender swapped the character. It's not accurate to the comic books. And also it's one of those things that Marvel seems to think is still cool and it's not. It's like, dude, you've done it like 3-4 times now.
Well, we've talked about how like the studio is very out of touch with what people want to see.
Yeah. Again, it might have something to do with this movie being so delayed that we're kind of like.
Well, the thing is like I felt like gender swapping Taskmaster for this movie because it's so based around like this group of female spies where they would take young women and turn them into super weapons.
And this was a girl that Natasha thought that she had killed.
Yeah. And so basically like I didn't feel like it was necessarily like out of left field where they were like, oh, we're going to gender swap this character for no good reason.
It made sense in the story.
Like in the comics, he is a man and his power is he can mimic anything he sees. So basically he has the power of all the Avengers because he can basically mimic their moves. And he's almost like a pirate in his like demeanor in the comics.
Is he super powered in the comics?
His superpower is his ability to basically perfectly mimic anything he sees.
But that's like, it's a power, not just like training.
It's very clear in the movie that she's definitely juiced up.
Yeah. Well, in the movie, she has a chip in her spine that they upload programs to that allows her to mimic stuff. Right. So the idea that there could be another Taskmaster in the future who's more kind of in line with the comics
Okay.
that has that power.
It is.
It's a possibility.
I thought
It's the same kind of thing they did with like the Manchurian or
Manchurian Candidate.
no. What's
the Mandarin.
the Mandarin?
Oh, the Mandarin.
The
Oh, yeah,
Manchurian.
yeah.
God,
Okay.
I haven't been drinking yet. The Mandarin, they advertise one thing and they give you something completely different.
They
it's a little-
subvert
it's-
your
Yeah,
expectations.
it's a little frustrating.
Enough of that.
I get the frustration. I really do.
Oh no, I do
And
get.
I completely agree
If
with.
somebody has a bone to pick with that, I have.
They could have
no argument.
They could have made this character anything. They could have just made it a new character. There's nothing that says they can't introduce new characters to the MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, the comics aren't completely canon for this kind of
The,
stuff.
the weird thing about the Taskmaster is that it's played by this actress. Her name's Olga Kurylenko, and she was a Bond girl going back to
Quantum
like
of
the Bond
Solace.
thing in Quantum
Yeah.
of Solace.
More James Bond.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like she's been in a lot of stuff, and she's absolutely gorgeous. She's like a model, but they like
Well,
when
they blew her face off in this movie.
I mean, let's be real here. She's in the movie. She's in the movie about 45
Just
seconds.
zero lines.
The rest of it's all a stunt person.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is that the actress. So like the girl when she was a little girl and Natasha supposedly killed her, she was like what, like 7, 8, 10 years old.
Yeah, something like
She
that.
was little, yeah.
Yeah, and so like by the time like we reveal her, I'm like, shouldn't she be like a little bit like younger or something like that? Because like
Yeah.
how long has passed since like she supposedly died?
That was
That's a good
Budapest. That was Budapest when
I can't get crazy about this stuff.
Budapest.
Budapest. So I don't know what the timeline is when Clint got Natasha out. That was the Budapest mission. And I don't know how much time has passed from then until
Like it
modern times.
almost feels like it was like 20 years or something like that.
I don't think it was that.
like
Maybe
weird.
10. If the girl is like in her, 10 or 11 and it's been
Probably around the same age as the sister.
another 10 years, she'd be in her 20s.
She's had a hard life and her face is all
Well,
mangled.
she was out of the Black Widow program by the time Iron Man 2 came along, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she was already
Yeah.
part of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, so like that was like what, 2009, 2010?
Mhm.
I'd have to look at the timeline for
I don't
MCU. I will say a little bit more salt. When Taskmaster finally gets revealed, she takes her helmet off. It looks ridiculous. I'm
It does.
sorry. Her
does.
head, because she's a very small framed woman, the
Yeah.
actress is, and she's put in like hockey pads.
She's
in this outfit.
She looks like Skeletor.
It looks ridiculous. I'm like, her head is like half the size of her shoulders. They're trying to, mask the fact that she's a chick. And I'm like, it was just kind of silly to me. I kind of laughed. I was like, whatever. This is just.
What did you guys think of the prison break scene?
Loved it.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
Loved it.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a bit
It
contrived.
was just
but
enough over the
that's-
top.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, obviously, it's contrived.
I'm really,
but it was really fun.
yeah, I'm really curious how strong Red Guardian is though, because he like blew through that giant steel door like
Yeah,
it's
then
nothing.
He's just been playing nice this whole time.
Yeah, he's been chilling in there like I'm just doing my Russian
It's like
duty.
And also, I love Yelena's like, oh, that would be a cool way to.
Yeah.
Like she's like, and it kind of just gives you that insight into her. Like she knows, like she's probably gonna die,
Yeah.
not naturally, and she's like, oh, that'd be a cool way right
Yeah.
there.
And
And
then-
then she's like, oh, this way sucks.
Yeah. And I also liked how playful she was. You could tell she was like the younger sister because when she's flying the helicopter and she's like screwing up, and Natasha's like, seriously? And she's like, I'm sorry.
We're
like-
both doing a great job.
Yeah.
I like that scene where like she eats that like energy bar and Natasha's like, I stored that 5 years ago, and she's like,
it's dry. It's very dry.
The way that she does it though is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's very natural, like how you would say it if you were eating something that was very dry.
Yeah. So are you guys
I just loved everything about her. She's very natural in every scene that she's in.
okay? So this is a perfect question then. So do you guys feel like she's a good fit for the new Black Widow?
Well, she
moving
is a
forward?
Black Widow.
No, I'm saying like because Natasha's dead. So
Mm-hmm.
in the phase 17 or whatever we're in with MCU, you're gonna see this actress come back as the new Black Widow. Are you
I'm
down
happy
for it?
to watch more of her. I enjoyed her throughout this movie.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the source material if there are other Black Widows that aren't this Black
Well,
Widow in the comics.
I know that. So there's an after credit scene in this movie
Yeah.
that sets something up.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And without, like we can get into it. But,
Yeah.
but basically, so Secretary Ross in this movie, they talk about how he looks like he's failing in health.
Mhm.
And in the comics, in order to keep himself from dying from like cancer or something like that, he takes a experimental super soldier drug that turns him into the Red Hulk.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so in the comic books, they have the Dark Avengers, who are Red Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye. Actually, it's not the Dark Avengers, the Thunderbolts.
Okay.
And
Hawkeye's in it?
Hawkeye's in it.
Yeah, because he went like
Isn't the other Cap from Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Yeah, U.S. agent.
So
US agent,
U.S.
okay.
agent. So
Or
all the
Marshall something.
all these guys are in the Thunderbolts / Dark Avengers. So the idea here is that Marvel is slowly setting up that type of thing.
Okay.
Because we got the U.S. agent in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which actually ties into this movie, surprisingly enough.
Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah. She was Lady Hydra.
Yeah.
Basically. And so she's like the evil Nick Fury type thing.
Right.
Is she evil?
Yeah.
I think she's morally ambiguous.
Yeah, I think it's a bit ambiguous at this point whether or not she is
I'm
evil,
not getting
but
I'm not getting a Hydra vibe off of her. I'm getting I'm a Black Ops government.
Well, anyone
chick
with
who's setting
purple hair streaks is
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I guess.
At least half her head is
yeah,
shaved.
but what was funny is like, so originally Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character was supposed to be revealed in this movie. Instead, we got her reveal in Falcon and Winter Soldier, so it's kind of like a little bit reversed. So we already knew who she was when we saw this in credit scene.
Okay, yeah, because this was supposed to come out before then, so that kind of makes sense.
She's definitely doing a Nick Fury thing, huh?
Yeah.
I
And so the real question becomes, it's like, what are they setting up exactly, and how does this fit into the next phase of Marvel?
So if Hawkeye is in this group, I'm wondering why she's sending Yelena after him.
Well, she's
to-
going to be in Hawkeye's TV show. And
who,
it might
who
not
is Yelena or Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
Maybe
Probably
both.
both.
I don't know,
Okay.
but Yelena for sure is going to be in the Hawkeye TV show, and I think they're setting that up to put Haley Steinfeld in the role as opposed to Jeremy Renner, because I know
it's her daughter, right?
Yeah,
Or his daughter
it's
in
his,
the show.
It's his daughter, so like, she's going to be like the new Hawkeye who might be part of the Thunderbolts.
This is where we're setting up the MCU.
Yeah, lots of female.
Yeah, this is
Hawkeye is like the MCU version of Robin, right? Like he was like an orphan and a circus kid.
No.
No.
But he was a highly trained SHIELD agent. But in game, he switched his character over to Ronin.
Yep.
Which kind of leaves the Hawkeye mantle open for his daughter to kind of pick up. So it's kind of up in the air right now. But I was just kind of surprised that he's being blamed for Black Widow's death, because he tried like hell to save her.
Yeah.
So
Well, nobody else was there to say what happened, so
Yeah.
they can make up whatever
See how it goes.
narrative they want. Okay, so let's do some final thoughts. We've been talking about it for almost an hour now. Vader, do you suggest people go check this out?
If you're a fan of the MCU movies, yeah,
Okay.
100%. Otherwise, whatever. It's just it's a fun movie. I had a good time with it. It's like I said earlier, I wish they would have released it when it should have been released.
I know this might be a
So-
big question because there's like freaking 45 movies, but
Uh-huh.
where does this movie land on your MCU list?
Probably upper middle,
Okay.
I guess. Yeah.
Well, what would be the next?
I like the whole spy kind of Winter Soldier,
Okay.
Captain America type stuff, versus the crazy Guardians of the Galaxy Thor stuff. It's just a different kind of.
Yeah.
It's a more realistic. Not realistic. It's not realistic, but
Earthbound?
yeah, Earthbound. Yeah.
down to earth.
Yeah. A little more
For real.
focused.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
I'd probably put it. Yeah, like how many movies are there?
23.
Probably 8th or 9th, maybe.
That's pretty high.
7th,
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Jude, how about you? Final thoughts, and where do you put this on the MCU
My
list?
final thoughts is that it's a really good movie and I really enjoyed it. I still maintain that I don't want it now. I want it then.
Yeah. Right.
So at this point, I'm just like, this is a completely useless movie. However, it's good.
Okay.
And I'd probably give it in the realm of MCU movies. I'd probably give it 3 out of 5 red Guardians.
Okay. 3 out of 5, not bad. Kadish, how about you, buddy?
So one of the interesting things about this film is they actually set up 2 potential sequels within the movie. So in the first end credit scene, we have Natasha show up. She's got her short blonde hair, and she gets a jet that she's going to go and break Hawkeye and the rest out.
There's 2 credit scenes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I left early.
Oh no!
I thought
You
there
didn't
was
see
only.
the
I thought
Julia
there
Louis
was.
Dreyfus thing?
I did. I
Oh,
saw
then
that
you
one.
saw them both.
You saw them both then. I guess technically it wasn't an end credit scene because it was when Natasha got the jet from her contact guy.
I'm sorry.
the guy from Gilead.
Oh, who
Yes.
is that guy?
He's in Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, but who is he in the MCU?
I've never
Is he-
seen
I
this
think he's-
character before.
No, he's an original character for this.
Okay.
He's just like a fence
He's
that
brand new.
spies have used to get equipment and
All
stuff.
right.
So anyway, so Natasha, if they wanted to bring Scarlett Johansson back to do another Black Widow movie, they set it up so that it'd be her doing the jailbreak with Captain America on the raft.
Yep.
Is that what it's called?
Yep.
To get those other superpowered people out like Anthony Mackie and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So they laid the foundation for that. Like if they don't do that, you're not going to miss anything. But if they choose to do that, they have the ability to. And then they have the Yelena thing at the very end with her and Lady Hydra leading into the Hawkeye TV show.
I'll tell you what's going to happen right now. If Phase 4 fails to be as profitable as previous,
It will. I
they are
guarantee it will.
100% going to get Captain America, Black Widow, Ant-Man together to do like the Black Ops, that period of time
Sure.
where they were out doing their own thing between Civil War
I doubt
and
it'll ever
Endgame.
happen.
I hope it does because
I
that
don't think it'll ever
seems like better movies.
Actors want too much more money. and everything like that.
So I'll say this: I've been pretty disappointed with a lot of the like recent Marvel offering, like
Mhm.
WandaVision,
Mhm.
Falcon Winter Soldier, Captain Marvel. So I felt like this was a return to form, at least in my opinion, for the Marvel universe, because I really had a good time watching this movie. It was action packed. It was funny. It was interesting. It expanded upon a character that I
Right.
didn't particularly care about, but now I do. And it set up a new character that I'm really interested in with Yelena. So, and I would love to see a David Harbour Red Guardian story of some type. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And Rachel Weisz, oh my God, that woman doesn't age.
No, she doesn't. She looks just as good as she did in The Mummy in
she
1999.
she looks almost better.
Well,
in a
she's-
weird
She
way.
ages well.
She's
Yeah.
aging well.
she's
Great.
she's guilty.
Yeah.
Uh,
So overall, I'd give this a solid like 3 stars out of 5 because I did really enjoy it. I thought it was well written, well directed. It's not the best. I probably put it in mid tier, but it was definitely better than something like Captain Marvel and WandaVision. So I'm pretty happy with it.
You're only giving it stars. You're not giving it something
fancy.
Yeah.
Like a
serums,
Black Widow.
I didn't give my grade,
jailbreaks.
but I'm right there with
3.
Matt and Jude.
Yeah,
I'm,
okay.
I'm going to give this a 3.
I'll give it 3 capitalist pigs out of 5.
Yeah.
There you
How's
go.
that?
3.
Face?
Oh man, I just got that. You dirty pigs, capitalist pigs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why she didn't care if they died.
That's fucking rad, dude. I love that. What a cool little thing.
Yeah.
Now, is it a 3.2 now for
Yeah.
you?
It was
There's no boobs.
No boobs.
Called it.
That's fair.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
In a movie with so many women, you'd think that they might.
No, they can't exploit.
No.
Give
You know
me-
what's funny
Give me
though?
just like one little nip slip. Come
Let's-
on.
There were a lot of Russian prisoner boobs.
Yeah, a lot of
yeah.
Russian prison tattoos.
I will say though, like, because there's conversation out there. Scarlett Johansson has made a couple comments about feeling objectified within the Marvel movies and stuff, and I'm not going to dive super deep into that. That's actors say things, and that's all you can say about it. I'm not going to dive into it.
She can
But
feel how she feels.
yeah, whatever. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
She's either drank the Kool-Aid or she's towing the line. So,
Something,
yeah.
whatever it
What
is.
is it?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Or David Harbour's a communist. Scarlett
Yeah.
Johansson feels objectified. Whatever.
But half the actors in Hollywood are commies. So whatever.
I will say,
Florence Pugh's British.
as somebody, as like she's making these comments, I'm now becoming a little bit more aware of like what shots are done which ways.
Yeah.
There was a scene where she grabbed a gas can and put it in her car, and it was just an ass shot. It was just her ass and a gas can, and I'm like, you telling me you couldn't have
Hello.
shot that from like the other side of the car?
But it's a woman director making that choice.
I know.
so
I
it's
know.
okay.
No, I'm not saying it's
So-
bad.
so it's okay.
I'm just like consciously looking at it, going, "There's other ways to shoot that shot."
It,
I'm
it
not
wasn't sexualized though.
At the same time, I was like, oh, I really like her pants.
exactly.
Listen,
Yeah.
man.
Chicks love looking at hot chicks.
Listen, hot chicks in leather, skin tight spy outfits, 100% sexualized this whole movie.
I'll watch it.
How great?
100%.
How great were the white outfits?
Oh, they were
Oh,
pretty
they're
cool.
So great.
I like black ones better, but you know,
Black one's cool. Okay, so
Well,
my
you know what they say.
Yeah, you know what they say. Matt.
Don't do it.
You know
Okay, hey,
you know
my
what,
final thoughts.
You know what they say?
on this.
They say David Harbour's beard is fucking rad in this movie.
How about David Harbour squeezing himself into his old leather
with the
outfit?
belly?
Yes.
Yeah,
That was really
I like
funny.
when he comes out and she's like, I never washed it.
He's like, it still fits.
Dude, the little conversation that Harbour and Weiss had, like where they're like kind of still flirting with each other.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, they still totally have
And
the hots
like
for
at
each
the
other.
beginning when she was like, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
I want to stay here and be a family.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
And that scene where he's like, I've been in prison for 15 years.
I have lots of energy.
I have lots of energy.
Yeah.
He like raises their eyebrows.
Yeah. And then at
So
one point he's like facing one way and he's like, if this is the last, oh shit. She's gone.
She's gone. She leaves.
That part where he gets
That's
shot by like a billion different trank
Oh,
darts.
yeah.
That was
Oh,
hilarious.
good.
That was like a
It was
Thor
funny.
moment. You remember when Thor first got injected and he's like, you can't take the god of Thor. And he just falls over.
Yeah.
That was that moment. Okay, so my final thoughts.
Quit
This,
gushing over this movie. My God.
it's definitely not my favorite of the MCU. It's probably lower third tier for me.
Really?
Yeah, I had a lot of issues with it. I thought some of the action was a little choppy. I thought the CGI for a phase 4 MCU movie didn't feel up to par with some of the previous movies. I don't know if that's just a budgeting thing or what, but I was expecting more from that. The way that she defeated the bad guy really made my eyes roll.
Yeah.
With the like smashing her face in the. I'm like, Jesus, come on, really? She's
Yeah,
freaking Black Widow.
The whole pheromone thing.
It was so bad. There were so many other ways they could have gone with that, and they chose to break her nose. Which, by the way, like 3 minutes later, her nose is completely fine and not red and
Well, that's-
swollen.
Just because she's.
It's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense.
You
I
can't-
really did not like the ending of this movie. That was my biggest problem. I didn't feel like they stuck the ending.
My whole thing was like, so her family leaves. She stays behind to meet Secretary
yeah.
Ross and his army of S.H.I.E.L.D. people who are going to arrest her, even though she's not super powered. She didn't sign the Sokovia Accords. And it cuts away to her meeting with, her fence to get that jet.
Yeah.
2 weeks later.
Yeah. And I was like, wait, what happened? How did she get out of that?
Yeah.
So
There's the choppy editing I was talking about.
She's very ninja-y.
I mean, I guess you have to just go with it.
Well,
but
she is a ninja, basically,
But,
right?
but I mean, like, it looked like she was going to let them take her into custody. So I was just like, how did she get out of that? Like, what happened there?
don't worry
I don't
about
feel
it.
like she's ever been super intimidated by General Ross.
No, she was
It's like,
messing with him.
She's all like, you really want to do this?
You remember
right
at the very beginning of the
Yeah,
episode,
it's
the
like,
very
come
beginning
on,
of the
man.
show, she's like, "You look really desperate right now," and she's like on the other side of the world,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like, "I found you, haha."
Yeah, and I'm wondering like why she was in violation of the Accords, because she's not a superpowered individual. She doesn't have to register anything.
I think she signed it though, because she was on Tony Stark's side, and then she betrayed them. I have to go watch Civil War
Yeah.
again, but anyway, definitely not my favorite. A lot of problems. However, there is a lot to like about this movie. The comedic timing is really good. Red Guardian's really fun. A lot of really dark elements with the child trafficking. They kind of explore the deeper realms of Black Widow's
The
history.
part where they were talking about the hysterectomy. And
Oh,
David
that was
Harbour.
so messed up.
Yeah, that was messed up.
That was really
And
messed
they,
up.
they kind of touched on that in Age of Ultron and in Agent Carter as well, where like the stuff that they do to these girls to keep them from reproducing and
Yeah.
keep their control.
no
over them.
babies, no babies. And Rhaegar's like, please stop talking about it.
Yeah. But
It
I thought that the way that they did it was entertaining, which is
Yeah.
what it should be. I don't want to get hit over the head with
Yeah.
like, I've been abused
Yeah.
in a Marvel movie.
Well, the way Florence
The-
Pugh just delivered those lines, and David Harbour's like, I
She's-
don't like to hear
yeah,
these
she's
female
so-
things.
She's so dry and
Yeah.
funny that I felt like it played perfectly.
I do agree with you. Because the movie is specifically going to touch on these themes, I think they handled it fairly well.
Mhm.
I'll give it that.
I think for the setting and the way it was handled, it was done pretty well.
But
Yeah.
overall, I think 3, for me personally, I think 3 might be a bit much, but I don't want to hate on it too much because I don't think it's terrible. It's not like, I'd put it in the realm of like, I don't know, like Iron Man 3 and Thor 2. It's like,
It's better than Iron Man.
it's a little bit
yeah.
above those.
Those are lower tier, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a lower third for me. This is not a movie
Well,
I'm
then-
going to go watch again. It's just not.
Well,
how-
those two movies were so boring, and this movie was actually entertaining.
Well, what's
Is
funny
this
is I
better
really
than superpowered Pepper?
Pepper? What do you mean?
What's
That was Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Where
Is
Oh,
this-
Pepper Potts.
Pepper
Pepper
Potts?
Potts.
Is this better than superpowered Pepper?
Yes.
Superpowered Pepper.
Super Power Pepper. Say that 5 times fast. It is better than those. I'm just saying, for me personally, it's on the lower third of the Marvel. Like there's a lower tier, a middle tier, and a top tier.
The top of the lower tier?
Yeah, top of the lower tier.
Okay.
It's right about the middle, but not quite. I haven't really mapped out all of my Marvel. I should probably do this, but I haven't mapped it out. But for me,
that'd be a fun weekend.
It would kind of be a fun weekend.
If we had time.
It's not perfect. It's not something I want to watch again. I watched it once. I'm good. I'm not going to go back. Like I will go back and watch Winter Soldier or Civil War or something or Endgame. Like I'll watch that shit again all the time. But this movie is probably going to go in the back shelf.
I'm going to watch this again though, like I said, in context.
In chronological order would probably be better. Okay, yeah. I don't know, 2.5 stars from me.
All right.
Okay, guys, that's it. That's our spoiler discussion. Thank you so much for joining us. Matt Vader, where can they find you on the socials? You
can find me on the socials at Matt Vader 74, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I opened up a TikTok.
You did.
I did. It's kind of dumb. I even opened up one of those new Getter accounts yesterday.
I did that too.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I have like one follower.
We'll see if that lasts more than 2 weeks. And so I'm out there.
Right on. All over the place. Jude, how about you?
You can find me at I am Jude Juju on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And that's it.
That's it. Jude's like 4 seconds flat.
I have a website. You can check me out on thevoiceofjude.com.
You have like what, 2 audiobooks out now?
I do. I'm finishing up the 3rd probably this week.
Good for you. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, man.
That's awesome. Living my dream. Kadish, where can they find you at?
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter and Getter. And you can also check out kadishbooks.com if you want to see some of my books on Amazon.
I suggest Lawman. Really good. Okay. I am the Salty Nerd. You guys can catch me on our Discord server. Go to saltynerddiscord.com. There you will find me hanging out in the chat, making new. I started a new one about watches yesterday.
Yeah,
we're gonna get nerdy about watches, guys. We also have a dinosaur chat. We got spoiler talk. We have got all kinds of stuff. And our Discord server is growing. We're getting a lot of new people coming in there. So it's a little bit more active than it used to be. So join us, saltynerddiscord.com. I will be there to see you. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. And like, subscribe if you're not already. And as always, stay salty, my friends.
Did you know you need a separate renter's flood insurance policy called contents coverage to protect your property from costly damages? As little as $100 a year can save you thousands in out-of-pocket expenses. Protect the life you've built at floodsmart.gov/renters.
Así suena la cascada de la piscina de la que podría ser tu nueva casa. Pero State Farm sabe que por cada una de esas hay una de estas. La cascada que cae por culpa del vecino de arriba y que implacable echa a perder tus pertenencias. Por eso State Farm está ahí, con seguros de inquilino cuando las cosas van mal. Y aquí, con una cuenta de ahorros de State Farm Bank para la casa de tus sueños, para ayudar a que la vida vaya bien.
Llama hoy a Blanca Kershen, tu agente de State Farm en Denver.